Well, first of all, I'm a boater. I love the ocean. And so I have a 65-foot boat. I love the story of the freed slaves who became cowboys because the work was so hard and the pay was so little that freed slaves, a lot of them became cowboys and a lot of them became whalers also. You know, as I learned about the history and Southampton, the history of the native people, the Shinnecock, and the whole history. And years ago I read about Pyrrhus Concer, his house, you know, the developers trying to get their hands on the property and all the lawsuits and all the millions of dollars that were involved. But I have a gallery right by his house, and I think it's a really good story that shouldn't be forgotten. And I knew one day I would paint this story, try to go into the past and put something into the present. And so I wanted to tell the story of how he was born a slave, became a whaler, saved a bunch of Japanese fishermen. There's a monument of him in Japan. And then, after years of whaling, he settled down back in Southampton. And a lot of people don't know there were slaves in Long Island. And he settled down in Southampton and built a home. He started a ferry business. And he made so much money that he became a philanthropist, and he started a widow's fund, and his church is still there where only Native Americans and African Americans worship, and that's tied up in knots too. He's buried still in Southampton. You can go see his grave, but it was such a powerful, I felt a connection with this story, and I go to huge salvage yards, and I came across this part of an old wooden ship that was salvaged years ago, and nobody even remembered what parts, but I saw that it would make a great frame for a painting, and to tell the story, you walk around the painting, and it looks like a porthole, and or some sort of a time portal, and you get to see how dangerous it was to be a whaler, you know, but it was still, you know, good work for a Native American or a freed slave. And so I have a replica of a harpoon, and you get to see the whaling boats, and he's throwing a harpoon and the rough waters. And so it was an honor to do. It was an honor to. I'm glad it's going to be on display in Cold Spring Harbor Whaling Museum. I'm honored to be a part of the show. Honored to make sure his story isn't forgotten in history.